Hello everyone. Today we're going to explore the mysterious taboos and shocking facts of Thailand, a country with rules and customs that will amaze you. Did you know that there are rules so strange they're unbelievable, and even locals are wary of them? From unique spiritual rituals to surprising taboos, we'll reveal the unimaginable in this video. Number 1. Going out without underwear can result in a fine. One thing that surprises many tourists is that going out in public without underwear can be considered a violation of regulations in Thailand. This rule is quite unusual for foreigners, but it exists as part of a system of social norms regarding dress code. The goal of this regulation is not only to uphold cultural norms, but also to maintain a polite image in public spaces, especially in tourist-heavy cities like Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Phuket, where the country's image is closely tied to the tourism industry. According to Thai law, appearing in public in a state considered inappropriately dressed can be classified as a violation of public order. Violators may be fined or detained in cases deemed to be intentionally offensive. While this regulation may sound strict, it reflects how Thai society places great importance on modesty, where clothing is not just a personal item, but also a sign of respect for the community. In fact, the legal basis for this regulation lies in Thailand's Public Order Act, which is often applied by the police alongside provisions on inappropriate attire at beaches, shopping malls, and tourist areas. In 2019, Pattaya police fined many foreign tourists for wearing see-through clothing and not wearing underwear while strolling along the beach, with fines reaching approximately $150,000 according to local authorities. You might wonder how they can tell if someone is wearing underwear, since it's a type of clothing that's very difficult to spot. In reality, this regulation is primarily based on observing the outer clothing. When someone is wearing clothing that is too thin, see-through, or too tight, authorities can determine that person is not complying with public dress standards. In popular tourist areas like Sukhumvit or Walking Street, tourist police are often empowered to issue warnings or fines on the spot if clothing is deemed too revealing, and in such cases, not wearing underwear can be a factor in filing a violation report. Number 2. Wives hired by the week. Pattaya, a famous seaside city in Thailand, attracts tourists not only with its beaches and vibrant nightlife, but also with the unusual service models that exist behind its red light districts. One of the most distinctive forms is what foreigners often call wife buying, a term referring to temporary relationships between tourists and women working in bars. Although not officially recognized, this model has become a familiar part of Pattaya's entertainment ecosystem. The women involved typically work in beer gardens, nightclubs, or go-go bars, and may agree to live with a tourist for a short period, from a few days to a few weeks or longer, depending on the agreement. During that time, they act as a temporary partner, going out to eat, shopping, partying, or traveling together. This relationship is not a marriage in the legal sense, but rather an informal financial contract. Customers pay for the companionship and time of the women, while the women receive a much higher income than simply working in bars. Many of them come from poor rural areas in Isan or northern Thailand, where the average salary is only a few $100s a month, so working in Pattaya allows them to send money back to support their families. According to data from the Thai Ministry of Tourism and Sports, Pattaya alone received over 10 million international tourists annually before the pandemic, creating a huge market for related services, including adult entertainment. Informal surveys by the Thai Service Workers Association show that many women in Pattaya bars can earn between $1,500 and $3,000 a month if fully booked by customers, many times higher than the national minimum wage. Despite operating quite openly, this form of wife buying is not protected by Thai law. If disputes, violence, or fraud occur, neither side has a clear legal mechanism to appeal. Thailand's anti-prostitution law allows police to shut down bars and fine those involved, but in practice, areas like Walking Street are tolerated because of their significant contribution to the local economy. This reveals a paradox. Tourism generates substantial revenue, but simultaneously creates an ethical and legal gray area that both authorities and workers must accept. Number 3. Ring the bell once and pay for the whole restaurant. When entering a lively bar in Thailand, you'll easily spot a small bell placed on the counter or table. To many tourists, it looks like a decorative item, but in reality, it carries a very specific social meaning. If you ring the bell without knowing beforehand, you can instantly become the center of attention in a not-so-cheap way. In Thai bar culture, ringing the bell is understood as a declaration that you will pay for everyone present. It's seen as a generous gesture, but also a significant financial commitment. In areas like Pattaya, Phuket, and Nana Plaza in Bangkok, ringing the bell can trigger staff to immediately add dozens of beers or cocktails to your bill based on the number of customers in the bar at that time. The origin of this custom stems from the language and etiquette used in bars. When someone rings the bell, it's equivalent to saying they're inviting everyone in the room for a round of drinks. As soon as the sound rings, the atmosphere in the bar usually shifts from casual conversation to party mode, with applause, cheers, and all eyes turning towards the person who rang the bell. According to publicly available price lists at many bars on Walking Street, the price of a beer for tourists typically ranges from $4 to $7. If there are about 50 people in the bar when the bell rings, the total cost for beer alone could exceed $250, not including service charges and tips. This is why many foreigners have unknowingly spent their entire travel budget after just one curious act. Ringing the bell isn't just a fun gesture, it's also a social ritual, where you're seen as sponsoring the shared party. In some establishments, the name of the person who rings the bell is even announced over a microphone so everyone knows who is paying for the evening, making the experience both honorable and a clear social pressure. Therefore, in Thailand's nightlife, that little bell is essentially a financial switch. A single tap can transform an ordinary evening into a lavish party with a bill of hundreds of US dollars, something not every tourist is willing to pay. Number 4. Sacred rules regarding insects in Thai temples. When entering a temple in Thailand, many visitors often only notice the gleaming golden Buddha statues, the fragrant incense, and the tranquil atmosphere. But there's a small detail that few people pay attention to: the insects crawling on the tiled floor, on the steps, or along the pathways within the temple grounds. In many parts of the world, stepping on an ant or a cockroach is just a minor accident. But in the sacred space of a Thai temple, that action can have a completely different meaning. Theravada Buddhism, the main branch of Buddhism in Thailand, places the principle of non-killing at its core. This principle applies not only to humans or large animals, but also to tiny creatures like insects. Every living being, no matter how small, is considered part of the cycle of reincarnation. Intentionally killing an animal within temple grounds is considered creating bad karma in the most sacred place. Therefore, many temples in Thailand have very strict regulations regarding the protection of living beings within their grounds. Monks often sweep gently to avoid harming insects, and visitors are encouraged to walk slowly, paying attention to each step. If someone intentionally kills or tramples insects in a temple, that act may be considered an insult to Buddhism. In some cases, the offender may be asked to leave, given a stern warning, or even punished if the act is deemed intentional and disruptive to the sacred space. For Thais, the issue is not about the insect killed, but about the attitude towards life in a sacred space. This creates a significant cultural shock for many tourists. In the West, stepping on an ant rarely carries moral significance, but in Thailand, especially in temples, every small creature is respected as part of the cosmic order. Number 5. Getting a Buddha tattoo may result in being expelled from the temple. Many tourists visiting Thailand are often captivated by the sight of golden temples, giant Buddha statues, and the spiritual atmosphere that pervades the country. For many Westerners, getting a Buddha tattoo is seen as a way to express admiration, peace, or spiritual connection. But in Thailand, that act carries a completely different meaning. In Thai culture, the image of the Buddha is not merely a decorative symbol. It is the highest sacred object of Buddhism, the religion followed by over 90% of the Thai population. When a sacred image is tattooed on the skin, especially in places like the legs, lower back, or areas that are easily obscured or touch the ground, Thais consider it an act of disrespect and degradation. For this reason, many Buddha tattoos brought by tourists upon entry have caused significant controversy. There have been cases of foreigners being denied entry to temples, being asked to cover their tattoos, or even being questioned by police if the tattoos are deemed offensive. At times, the Thai authorities have publicly stated that Buddhist tattoos on foreigners are culturally inappropriate and may be considered a violation of public decency. What shocks many tourists is that in Thailand, this issue is not only ethical but also legal. Religious protection laws allow authorities to intervene if an act is deemed to harm the image of Buddhism. A tattoo deemed offensive or disrespectful can result in a fine or being asked to leave a public place. For Thais, respect for the Buddha is not about wearing his image on one's skin, but about one's actions, words, and daily life. A tourist with a large Buddhist tattoo on their arm might think they are carrying peace. But in the eyes of many locals, it is a sign of a lack of understanding of sacred boundaries. Number 6. Touching a monk is a transgression. One of the most important religious and cultural rules in Thailand is that women are not allowed to touch monks. This is not only a Buddhist rule, but also a social norm that has existed for hundreds of years in daily life. For Thais, this is not a controversial issue, but a natural part of protecting the spiritual space of the monastery. According to Buddhist tradition, monks must maintain purity and avoid situations that could distract them from their practice. The rule of no physical contact with women helps them maintain that state in their daily lives. The Theravada Buddhist monastic rules, which are applied in Thailand, state that a monk must not touch a woman's body because such an act could lead to a violation of the precepts and, in some cases, result in repentance or internal disciplinary action. This reflects the strictness of monastic life, where even small gestures are considered to influence one's spiritual path. At many large temples, such as Wat Phra Kayu in Bangkok or Wat Phra That Doi Suthep in Chiang Mai, signs for visitors are placed at the entrance, clearly explaining that women should not directly interact with monks and must follow the procedure of giving gifts indirectly. For Thais, adhering to this rule is not only religious, but also demonstrates respect for the culture. An unintentional touch to a monk can be seen as a lack of understanding of custom, even if there is no ill intent. During morning almsgiving ceremonies, it is common to see women placing food on a cloth or tray for the monk to take himself, rather than handing it directly to him. A very familiar sight in cities like Bangkok, Ayutthaya, and Chiang Rai. Therefore, women are always careful when offering gifts or presents to monks in temples and public spaces. Using a male intermediary or a tray is not just a ritual, but also a practical way to keep both parties from violating precepts that have existed for centuries. Number 7. Strict regulations regarding the Thai royal family. Criticizing or insulting the king and the royal family in Thailand is strictly prohibited under lèse majesté law. This is one of the strictest laws concerning the monarchy in the world and is enforced as part of a national image protection system. For Thais, the king is not just a political figure, but also a symbol deeply rooted in the country's history and stability. This law reflects the exceptional respect Thai society holds for the royal family, where any words, images, or actions deemed offensive can result in criminal prosecution. According to Article 112 of the Thai Criminal Code, violators of lèse majesté can face 3 to 15 years in prison for each offense, even if the act occurs on social media or in a private conversation if recorded and reported. The king and the royal family are seen as embodiments of national unity, especially during periods of political instability. In social surveys conducted by Chulalongkorn University following political crises, the royal family is often ranked as the most trusted institution by the people, surpassing even the government and parliament. This explains why society reacts so strongly to any action deemed offensive. Therefore, seemingly harmless actions such as sharing a meme, making a negative comment, or standing up late for the national anthem at a movie theater can be considered violations. In 2020, several Thai citizens were prosecuted simply for posting critical comments about the royal family on Facebook and Twitter, with case files publicly available on the Bangkok Criminal Court website. For tourists, this means that every conversation, post, or gesture related to the royal family needs to be carefully considered. Respecting these boundaries not only helps avoid serious legal trouble, but is also a way to integrate into a society where the monarchy still plays a central role in the spiritual life of the people. Number 8. Stepping on money, a violation of Thai culture. Stepping on money in Thailand is not only considered impolite, but can also be a serious offense. Thai currency is not simply a means of payment. It also bears the image of the king and the royal family, symbols widely revered in society. Therefore, how a person treats banknotes is understood as a way of showing respect to the monarchy. In Thai culture, the image of the king on banknotes symbolizes the stability and continuity of the nation. Therefore, stepping on money is seen as an insult. According to regulations on public order and the protection of the royal image, intentionally damaging, soiling, or stepping on money can result in on-the-spot fines from the police if deemed disrespectful. This not only causes discomfort to locals, but can also lead to legal trouble for tourists. In crowded tourist areas like Bangkok and Phuket, there have been cases of tourists being taken to the police station simply for using their feet to hold banknotes flying in the wind, as this action was inadvertently seen as stepping on the image of the king. In a society sensitive to royal symbols, such gestures can easily be interpreted negatively. Therefore, Thai people usually pick up money with their hands and avoid letting it touch the ground or be placed underfoot. Tourists are also advised to do the same to avoid unwanted situations. Official travel guides from the Tourism Authority of Thailand often remind that banknotes should be handled carefully and should not be folded or crumpled forcefully in the area where the king's portrait is printed. This careful handling of money not only helps you integrate better into the local environment, but also reflects an understanding of a society where the image of the royal family is intertwined with long-standing cultural values and traditions. Number 9. Amulets are more trusted than medicine. In Thailand, you might walk out of a modern hospital with CT scanners, fluent English-speaking doctors, and technology comparable to Europe. But just a few streets away, you'll find a different world. There are shops selling amulets, red string bracelets, sacred tattoos, and monks or shamans whom people believe can cure illnesses, ward off bad luck, and change their fortunes. For many Thais, medicine isn't the only option. When faced with illness, business failures, or family troubles, they often turn to both doctors and amulets. Some even believe that illness doesn't come from bacteria or viruses, but from bad karma, restless spirits, or misfortune. Therefore, taking medicine alongside wearing amulets or getting yantra tattoos has become quite common. In Bangkok and many provinces, there are temples famous for their healing abilities. People line up not to see doctors, but to have amulets blown onto their skin by monks, receive holy water, or have sacred symbols inscribed on their skin. These amulet tattoos, called sakyant, are believed to protect against accidents, illness, and even death. Shockingly, many people are willing to spend large sums of money on spiritual rituals, but hesitate to pay for medical tests. Even in large cities, many families prioritize consulting a spiritual healer before taking a loved one to the hospital. To outsiders, this seems illogical. But in Thai society, where Buddhism, animism, and superstition are deeply intertwined, the lines between medicine and spirituality are blurred. Illness is not just a matter of the body, but also a matter of fate. Number 10. The billion-dollar sex industry in the shadows. The sex industry in Thailand is a large but often unseen part of the urban and tourism economy. Although many activities in this sector are not officially licensed, it remains widespread in major cities such as Bangkok, Pattaya, and Phuket. Common estimates suggest that between 200,000 and 250,000 people are directly employed in this industry, including both Thais and migrant workers from neighboring countries. Financially, the market is estimated to be worth approximately $6 to $7 billion annually, equivalent to 1 to 3% of Thailand's gross domestic product. This makes the sex industry one of the largest underground economic sectors in the country, despite not appearing in official statistics. A significant portion of this revenue comes from tourism. In nightlife areas, spending by international visitors on bars, massage parlors, clubs, and related services accounts for a high proportion. This creates an ecosystem where sex services don't exist in isolation but are closely intertwined with the hotel, restaurant, and entertainment industries. However, the money flow is not evenly distributed. Workers typically receive only a small portion of each transaction, while the rest is divided among the establishment owner, brokers, and operating costs. Because the industry operates in the informal sector, workers are not protected by labor laws, lack contracts, insurance, and have very little legal rights in case of disputes. Another key characteristic is its networked nature. Many establishments don't operate independently, but are part of local management, recruitment, and security systems. To maintain operations, businesses often pay informal fees to avoid disruption or closure. The result is a large-scale market operating in the shadows, where billions of dollars in revenue exist annually alongside a lack of transparency and protection for workers. Number 11. Excessive displays of affection are prohibited in public in Thailand. While public displays of affection are considered normal in many European countries, this is viewed quite differently in Thailand. Gestures such as hugging, kissing, or overly intimate displays in public often make those around them feel uncomfortable. For Thais, public spaces require politeness and order, so overly private behavior can be seen as insensitive. Those who value politeness and respect for the community may not directly criticize, but their reactions are often expressed through glances, avoidance, or silence. This clearly indicates disapproval. In areas such as the BTS SkyTrain in Bangkok or famous temples, signs for tourists often remind people to maintain appropriate behavior, including avoiding excessive displays of affection. To avoid awkwardness and respect local customs, many couples choose to maintain distance in public. If you display affection in front of Thais, you can easily notice their awkward reaction, even without direct prompting. In Thai culture, maintaining personal image and dignity is considered very important. According to cultural surveys conducted by Mahidol University among students and urban workers, the majority of respondents believe that kissing or hugging in public is inappropriate and should be avoided in shared spaces. This reflects how Thai society clearly delineates boundaries between private life and public space. This rule is not only based on religion or tradition, but is also part of modern urban life, where people strive to maintain harmony and avoid offending others. Understanding this helps tourists integrate better and avoid awkward situations when experiencing life in Thailand. Number 12. Rules of sitting in Thai ceremonies. Sitting with your legs crossed in Thailand is generally considered disrespectful, especially in sacred spaces like temples and spiritual sites. This posture can be interpreted as impolite, particularly if the soles of your feet are facing other people or towards a Buddha statue. In Thai culture, the feet are considered the lowest part of the body, so exposing or pointing your feet towards revered symbols is considered inappropriate. When visiting places of worship, tourists and locals are encouraged to sit upright with both feet flat on the ground or tucked to one side. This helps maintain humility and respect for the sacred space. At large temples such as Wat Phra Kaeo, Wat Po, and Wat Arun in Bangkok, security personnel and volunteers often directly remind visitors to adjust their posture if they inadvertently extend their legs towards a Buddha statue or sit with their legs crossed in front of the altar. This rule exists not only in temples, but also influences how Thais sit during Buddhist ceremonies, rituals, and even formal events. During morning or evening chanting at temples, participants often kneel or cross their legs to one side throughout the ceremony, a posture considered a sign of respect and spiritual discipline. Interestingly, this rule stems from an ancient concept of bodily hierarchy in Thai culture. In the traditional symbolic system, the head is considered the most sacred part, while the feet are considered the lowest, as they come into direct contact with the earth, dirt, and things considered impure. Therefore, pointing one's feet towards others, especially monks or Buddha statues, is considered offensive even without malicious intent. In daily life, Thais also pay close attention to their sitting posture. In traditional families, children are often taught from a young age not to put their feet on tables or chairs, or point their feet toward elders, as this is considered disrespectful. This shows that the rules in temples are only the tip of the iceberg of a broader system of social norms. For tourists, not knowing this rule can lead to embarrassing situations. Many official travel guides from the Tourism Authority of Thailand have a separate section reminding visitors to avoid sitting with their legs crossed in temples or during religious ceremonies. While rarely punished, being reminded in front of a crowd can be embarrassing for many. Number 13. Just clicking like can land you in jail. In Thailand, it's not surprising for those who closely observe the legal system and online regulations that someone might be penalized for expressing opinions on social media. A notable case that attracted attention involved a citizen being criminally prosecuted simply for liking a social media post deemed subversive. The incident occurred when a social media account shared content deemed critical of a member of the royal family or related to sensitive social issues. Another user liked the post without posting or commenting further. However, the Thai legal system considers liking the post as supporting or spreading the content, thus contributing to its popularity. Accordingly, authorities investigated and determined that liking the post, even without commenting or sharing, was sufficient to be considered participation in the dissemination of sensitive content. This individual was accused of violating cybersecurity regulations and defying rules regarding subversive or offensive content. Following legal proceedings, the individual was sentenced to a prison term. What drew attention was that the punishment wasn't based on the act of writing, reposting, or commenting with critical language, but rather on a small act like liking content, something many in other countries consider normal. In Thailand, the law has broader provisions for interpreting social media behavior, where any interaction can be considered contributing to prohibited content. This case offers an important perspective on how legal systems deal with online behavior in the context of sensitive political, religious, or royal issues. It also serves as a reminder that in different legal environments, a small action for one person can be considered a violation for another. Number 14. The Underworld behind the night streetlights. Amidst Thailand's vibrant tourism landscape, few realize that beneath the nightlife and beaches lies a complex underground economic ecosystem. Three areas most frequently mentioned are gambling networks, underground casinos, and the drug market, activities that don't appear in official statistics but persist persistently. Regarding gambling, although Thai law only permits lotteries and horse racing, the demand for gambling among locals and tourists remains high. This fosters the development of an underground gambling network, ranging from small-scale gambling tables in residential areas and hidden casinos in bars to online betting platforms operating from overseas but serving domestic players. Gambling money flows not only from individual players, but also from large bookmakers capable of processing millions of transactions daily. Underground casinos are often unlike the dark, secluded rooms depicted in films. Many establishments operate almost openly, located behind karaoke bars, massage parlors, or within entertainment complexes. Entry is often through referrals, creating a social filter that helps maintain the stability of the operation. Because they are tax-free and not subject to formal regulations, these venues can offer more attractive odds and services than legal gambling. Parallel to gambling is the drug market, particularly for synthetic stimulants. Drugs in pill and powder form are used in nighttime entertainment settings, from bars to music festivals. Despite strict laws, consumption persists due to high demand and the lucrative potential for distribution networks. These three elements are interconnected through the same urban and tourist space. Where there are bars, clubs, and large crowds, there is also a demand for risky entertainment, gambling, and stimulants. This creates a parallel economy operating alongside legitimate industries, both sustaining a part of urban life and posing significant challenges to governance and social order. Number 15. Entering a house without taking off your shoes is impolite. Thais consider leaving shoes outside the house a way to protect the cleanliness and purity of their living space. Dirt and germs from the street can soil the floors and affect the indoor environment, so removing shoes before entering has become a common practice. It's also a way to show politeness and respect to the host, indicating that you haven't brought anything from outside into their private space. If you accidentally bring shoes inside a Thai home, locals may react mildly and politely, but displeasure is usually expressed discreetly. In many Thai homes, the entrance often features a shoe rack or a small area just outside the door specifically designed for people to remove their shoes, a common architectural detail from townhouses in Bangkok to traditional wooden houses in the north. This custom is not only related to hygiene, but also to religious beliefs. In Thai Buddhism and folk beliefs, the interior of a home is considered a clean and spiritual space, often housing ancestral altars or Buddha statues. Therefore, bringing shoes inside is considered defiling this space. In rural areas, this rule is even more strictly enforced. Many traditional houses are elevated above the ground, and the floors are often made of wood, so wearing shoes inside could scratch the floor and leave behind mud, which is seen as disrespectful to the homeowner's hard work. For tourists, seeing shoes placed outside the door is often a clear indication that you should remove them. Cultural guidelines for foreign visitors in Thailand often list removing shoes upon entering a home as one of the most basic rules to avoid misunderstandings or offending the host. Understanding and following this small custom will make you more welcome in the daily life of Thai people. Number 16. The world's longest capital city. An interesting fact about Thailand is that its capital, Bangkok, holds the record for the longest capital city name in the world. While most people only know it by its shorter name, Bangkok, the city's official name is so long that it's hardly ever used in daily life. For Thais, that long name carries more symbolic meaning than it does in everyday communication. The full name of Bangkok in Thai is Krung Thep Mahanakhon, Amon Ratanakosin, Mahintara, Ayutthaya, Mahadilok, Phop Nopharat, Ratchathani, Burirom, Udom Rachaniwet Mahasathan, Amon, Piman, Awatan, Sathit, Sakathatya, Witsanukam Prasit, often translated as City of Angels, Great City of Kings, Eternal Jewel of the Gods, and Capital built by Vishvakarman. This name is not just a designation, but also a summary of the country's religion, royalty, and history. In 2007, the Guinness Book of Records officially recognized Bangkok's full name as the longest place name ever used for a capital city in the world. In fact, even Thais often simply refer to the city as Krung Thep, meaning City of Angels, instead of using its full ceremonial name. This full name was composed in the late 18th century during the reign of King Rama the Mer, when the Chakri dynasty established Bangkok as the new capital after the destruction of Ayutthaya. Each part of the name carries a specific meaning relating to Buddhism, the Hindu cosmology, and the sacred role of the king in Thai society. This lengthy name reflects how Thais view the capital not only as an administrative center, but also as a sacred space and a symbol of royal power. Although Bangkok is known today for its skyscrapers, elevated trains, and modern urban life, this long-standing ceremonial name still appears in royal documents, official texts, and national rituals, reminding us that this modern city is built on a foundation of history and beliefs spanning centuries. Number 17. Burdened with debt for family. In many countries, debt is seen as a financial problem, but in Thailand, especially in rural areas and among the working class, debt carries a deeper meaning. It is linked to morality, responsibility, and family honor. When someone borrows money to build a house for their parents, pay medical bills for relatives, or support a sibling's university education, the loan is not seen as a personal burden, but as part of their filial duty. In Thai society, children, especially daughters, are often expected to take care of their families after they grow up. Sending money home every month is not an option, but almost the norm. If income is insufficient, borrowing money becomes the only way to fulfill that obligation. Therefore, many people accept loans with high interest rates just to avoid being seen as irresponsible towards their parents. It is noteworthy that this pressure does not lessen when a person starts their own family. Even after marriage, many women continue to send money back to their parents while simultaneously supporting their new families. When income fails to keep up with obligations, a debt spiral begins. Borrowers repay old debts with new loans, prolonging the situation for years. The informal credit system complicates the problem. In many places, borrowing from private lending groups is easier than accessing banks. High interest rates are accepted because borrowers have no other choice. More importantly, they believe that accepting financial risk is the price to pay for filial piety. In this context, debt is no longer simply a number. It becomes part of social identity. A person burdened with debt for their family is often seen as responsible, while refusing to help may be perceived as selfish, even if it helps them avoid financial crisis. Number 18. Rules for not putting feet on the dining table in Thailand. In Thai culture, the dining table is considered an important space for eating and socializing. Putting your feet on the table is not only considered impolite, but also seen as disrespectful to those eating with you and to the shared space itself. In a society that values order and harmony, this behavior can easily cause discomfort even if it's not intended to be offensive. Putting your feet on the table also affects the cleanliness and tidiness of the dining area, which is especially important during family meals or when entertaining guests. In many Thai families, the dining table is often considered a place for offerings or dishes prepared with spiritual significance, so putting your feet on the table is seen as defiling that space. Keeping the dining table clean and dignified helps maintain a respectful and comfortable atmosphere for everyone. In traditional Thai restaurants and family-run eateries, staff often quickly wipe down tables and remind customers if they place personal items or feet on the table surface, as this is considered inappropriate according to local customs. This notion is also linked to how Thais view the body. Similar to the rules regarding posture and feet in temples, the feet are considered the lowest and least dignified part of the body, so placing them on the table is seen as offensive to both the person and the food. In Thai culture, the head is considered the most sacred part, while the feet are the lowest, a hierarchical system of the body rooted in Buddhism and folk beliefs. So placing feet on the table is seen as reversing the natural order. In many families, especially in rural areas and traditional communities, the dining table is also where people gather during festivals or full moon days, so keeping the table clean and free from foot traffic signifies the preservation of the meal's sanctity. Some cultural guidelines for foreigners in Thailand also list not placing feet on the table as one of the basic rules when dining with locals, similar to the rule of not pointing feet towards Buddha statues in temples. Understanding this cultural logic helps tourists easily avoid awkward situations and integrate better into daily life during meals in Thailand. So, we've explored some of Thailand's taboos and strange facts together. We hope this information has helped you gain a deeper understanding of the culture and customs of this beautiful country. If you found this video helpful and interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss other interesting videos. Do you have any questions or want to share your experiences in Thailand? Please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.